Records show that Reed made repeated unprompted utterances during the incident, specifically yelling for the victim to, quote, burn alive before fleeing the scene. But federal investigators caught up with him the next morning, officials confirming he has an extensive criminal history, including a previous aggravated arson charge and several separate arrests.
President Trump signed a bill last night to force the Justice Department to publicly release all its files on convicted child sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The president had pressured Republicans not to vote for the bill before eventually relenting and agreeing to sign it. He had also asked the Justice Department to investigate Epstein's ties to prominent Democrats, raising concerns that could stall the release of the files. This is Kentucky Congressman James Comer.
For the Democrats to go all in over the last month over release the files, I think one reason they were demanding we release the files is they didn't think that President Trump would release the files or that I would subpoena the estate files.
If you wonder why people attack ICE agents and other law enforcement on the streets and continue to support criminal illegal aliens, it could be because of inflammatory comments from Democrats, like former Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, who said this about President Trump on November 3rd.
He's just a vile creature. The worst thing on the face of the earth. But anyway.
You think he's the worst thing on the face of the earth?
I do, yeah. I do. Because he's the President of the United States and he does not honor the Constitution of the United States.
When given a chance to clarify, she doubled down with something much worse yesterday.
You said that President Trump was a vile creature, the worst thing on the face of the earth. Do you think he's different now than he was in his first term in terms of his abilities, his leadership?
By the way, I said that as a euphemism. I could have done much worse.
You could have done worse. You could have said worse. Do you think he's a different leader than he was back then, in the first term?
I think he is, but I think more dangerously, he's surrounded by much worse people than he was before.
A national defense strategist says the resurgence in military recruiting can be attributed to the breath of fresh air at the White House.
Just 2 years ago, the Department of War reported that the outlook for military recruiting was bleak, with a 15,000 soldier shortfall, the Army's deepest gap since the end of the draft in 1973. However, during this fiscal year, things have really turned around, with the services on track to meet or exceed their recruiting targets. In fact, the Army reached its goal of 61,000 new soldiers 4 months ahead of time. Bob McGinnis is a national defense strategist and author of more than a dozen books on national defense. He says the reason for the turnabout is quite obvious.
Just a breath of fresh air with Trump's pro-military people that came into office. That's significant. And I think that's what made the difference. Biden's legacy of CRT and DEI, given that I saw that firsthand in the Pentagon, it was cancerous, malignant. And that was absolutely unacceptable. I'm just disappointed with so many of the senior officials.
And McGinnis says the military had to overcome some huge recruiting obstacles.
I think the big issue is that 4 out of 5 of young Americans no longer qualify to serve in the armed forces. That is a disastrous situation. Now, of course, you've got people like Kennedy and the MAHA movement trying to improve our health. And health is a big issue for disqualifications, but then also criminal behavior, drugs, and the like are disqualifiers. But to a large degree, I think the health issue of kids being overweight and unfit is a very serious issue.
I'm Chad Groening.
American Family News is online at afn.net. And download the AFN mobile app for your Apple or Android device. I'm Rusty Pugh.
I hope you're sitting down for this. George Barna's Cultural Research Center found only 13% of born-again Christians have a biblical worldview. That means there's a huge lack of biblical life essentials in our country. AFA is committed to helping churches ignite a hunger for God. You can be part of that with your gift today, and we'll send you Dr. Alex McFarland's DVD, Do Christians Have Permission to Edit Scripture? Visit afa.net/biblical. afa.net/biblical.
Welcome to Today's Issues, offering a Christian response to the issues of the day. Here's your host, Tim Wildmon, President of the American Family Association.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's issues on the American Family Radio Network. Thanks for listening to AFR. This is Thursday, November the 20th, 2025. A week from today, it'll be Thanksgiving Day. So I know everybody's looking forward to that annual celebration we have in our country here. Good morning, Fred Jackson.
Good morning to you, Tim.
Tony Vitagliano. Good morning, Brother Tony.
Good morning.
And Chris Woodward.
Good morning.
How you doing, Chris?
I'm well.
And we thank everybody for listening. A lot to talk about today. As I always say, that's a good thing because this is a talk show. And if we didn't have anything to talk about, I guess we'd play elevator music or something. I'm not sure what we would do to fill the time. But we got a lot going on in this world of ours, don't we, Fred?
Sure do. It's a time that I tell you what, I've never seen a quiet news day in the last several years.
Yeah.
And
today's no different.
Today is absolutely no different, and Chris is going to tell us all about it.
Yeah, yes. We got the Dick Cheney funeral taking place in Washington, D.C. today, right?
Yes,
right now.
at the National Cathedral, yes.
Because we're watching it on TV. We got our TV screen over here and seeing some faces we haven't seen in a long time, at least in public. I have Dan Quayle is at this.
Yeah.
By the way, Dick Cheney was was vice president from 2001. Is that right?
Correct.
2009. Is that correct?
Yep. January 20th, 2001 to January 20th, 2009.
Yeah. Before that, he was Secretary of Defense.
Yes, a really good one.
Yes, during the George H.W.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What else did he do, Tony? Do you know Vice President Cheney? Was he a good cook? Do you know that?
I don't know. I don't know. That was kind of before I started paying attention to politics.
So how old were you that era?
Well, I would have been from 4th grade to high school. So my head was in the clouds.
The 2000 election was the first one I voted in, that I was able to vote in.
Who'd you vote for?
Bush and Cheney.
Okay. Well, they're having it at the National Cathedral. I'm talking about the service for memorial service for former Vice President Cheney. And you've got George W. Bush and Laura. You've got Joe Biden and Jill. You've got Kamala Harris. You've got Mike Pence and his wife. You've got, I guess Kamala Harris's husband's here. I think that's him. I know people can't see what I'm doing. Al Gore and Dan Quayle are side by side.
Yes.
Together again.
The inventor of the internet showed up.
Reunited, and it feels so good.
So the inventor of the internet and the guy who learned to spell potato.
Yeah.
Sitting side by side. And you know what? Dan Quayle got a raw deal on that.
Yes, he did.
Tony doesn't remember this. But
I think I was in 4th grade when that happened.
The media accused Dan Quayle of not being able to spell potato. Well, what it was, he had gone, this was during the campaign, he had gone to a classroom with some young kids, and he spelled potato, and the teacher, I think, corrected him. Well, the teacher was wrong.
Yeah.
The spelling teacher was wrong, and he erased what he said. He was like, "Well, who am I to question the teacher?"
Yeah.
And it turned out the teacher was wrong, and he had actually spelled it right, but But Dan Quayle will forever be known as the guy who misspelled potato in front of all the children.
The spelling actually changed over the last 4 years. It's spelled
transitioned?
It's spelled B-I-D-E-N. That's how they spell potato now.
Like Mr. Potato Head. All right, anyway, that's happening right now in Washington, D.C. at the National Cathedral. But I've seen Al Gore in a long time, but I haven't seen Dan Quayle in, gosh, how long has it been? 10 years or so in public?
It must be.
Does he still live in Indiana? Because he was from Indiana, like Mike Pence.
I'm not sure if he's still there.
Yeah.
I'll Google, what is Dan Quayle up to?
Oh. And also Google the year. Tell us if you can tell us the year that Mike Pence will smile.
Okay.
When is that coming?
Yeah.
What year is that coming up?
AI Overview says, I'm not sure. But Dan Quayle is currently the chairman of Cerberus Global Investments, an investment company he has been with since 1999. He also authors a syndicated newspaper column and has written 3 books since leaving public office. 3 more books than I have.
What was the third book was on spelling?
Yes.
What's his job again?
He is the chairman of Cerberus, however you say it, Global Investments, an investment company he's been with since 99.
I was in Global Investments at one time, but I don't remember seeing him at any of the meetings we were at. So there you go, big deal happening in Washington, and they are remembering the life of Dick Cheney. Now, conspicuous by his absence, is who, Fred?
Yeah, President Trump and Vice President Vance were not invited.
They were not invited.
No,
okay,
that's the official word.
Oh, they weren't invited. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Well. Tony, what would be the reason for that? Maybe.
I think they had a little bit of
a conflict.
A little bit of a conflict.
Couldn't make it.
Yeah, I believe Cheney endorsed.
Cheney endorsed Kamala Harris.
Yeah,
because he was ticked at Trump because Trump had gone after his daughter, Liz Cheney, because his daughter had served on that what was that?
January 6th committee.
Right.
January 6th committee, and they had gone back and forth. A lot of animosity there between the Trump and Cheney family. So no surprise that he's not invited to. Now our flag, as the flags of our flag has been half-staff. Because it's a federal mandate, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Because anytime a vice president or a president dies, I think it'll be lifted today. I think. But,
I think so. Yeah.
Anyway, so if you see a flags out at half-mast, then the reason for that is because Vice President Dick Cheney passed away. All right. So that's what's happening in our nation's capital. Is Mike Pence awake?
I think so.
Biden's awake. That's kind of surprising. There's Mike Pence. Mike Pence was an excellent congressman.
Yes.
From Indiana, one of the conservative leaders for several years before he, took the vice president role for Donald Trump. Anyway, there you go. We're talking about what's happening in Washington, D.C. All right, Chris, other than that, what else is in the news?
Well, a moment ago, Mr. President, you used the...
Talking to me, right?
Yes, sir. You used the word animosity. Two people that also have a strong feeling of dislike or hatred for one another are President Donald Trump and New York mayoral-elect Zohran Mamdani.
I don't think they hate each other, do they? That's kind of a strong word.
I would say they have a strong dislike for one another based on things they have said about one another in public. Now, the good news is they're going to meet tomorrow at the White House.
That's good news?
Well, it's better to meet and try to talk about some stuff than continue to bash one another.
Yeah. They're going to work out a trade deal.
Let me write that down.
New York City and the rest of the United States of America.
Are we going to trade New York City? Maybe to Russia? Or
trade three of my buildings, Trump is going to say.
The takeaway thus far is when you said, and I quote, "I like Chris." I'm gonna hang that in my office.
Okay.
But anyway, so Mr. Trump, President Trump, is going to meet with the soon-to-be mayor of New York City, and they're going to talk about things including like SNAP benefits, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, formerly known as food stamps. It's an issue that involves inequality, income inequality, things that Mamdani ran on because he wants to make everything free, pretty much in the Big Apple. And the president, who has called Mamdani a socialist and a communist, sometimes both in the same sentence, is going to meet, and they're going to talk about some stuff. I do have some audio of somebody from the Wall Street Journal, another New Yorker by the name of James Freeman, who appeared on Fox today to talk about this upcoming meeting. Clip 1.
Well, I guess right off the bat, you would hope that President Trump would encourage our new mayor to focus on public safety. The commissioner of the police department is going to stay for now. That's good news. And also talk to him about the destructive impact of higher corporate tax rates. That's what Comrade Mamdani has been threatening for New York. Obviously, President Trump really created a model and boosted U.S. growth by lowering the corporate tax rate for the United States.
Well, that's wishful thinking right there. I don't think, Tony, that
Zohran Mamdani.
Zohran Mamdani?
That guy.
I don't think he is going to be interested in listening to President Trump tell him how to break his campaign promises.
Yeah, no, I think he's actually on the record now as basically having to admit that they're going to have to raise taxes on higher income individuals to pay for the free buses, at least. The buses are they estimated to cost around $700 million a year. And you got to get that money somehow. And he's not going to be able to raise taxes on the lower middle class, who, a lot of them voted him into power. So you got to go to the higher earners in your city. And Trump doesn't. Yeah, Trump likes tax cuts for
right
business.
Well, but I don't think. What that I was going on what that gentleman right there from the Wall Street Journal was
James
saying
Freeman.
that Trump is going to try to talk Mamdani out of being Mamdani, basically, and that just not going to work.
Yeah,
that's just a bunch of Mamdani.
It is going to be must-watch TV.
Yeah,
because we know what happened when Trump in the Oval Office was meeting live with Zelensky, the Ukrainian leader. And that is a meeting that I've never seen before that went off the rails.
Mm-hmm.
Publicly, everybody watching. It turned into as we say in hockey, a verbal Donnybrook. It really did.
Mm-hmm.
This has the potential, because both these men have pretty good-sized egos. And so tomorrow, I'm going to be watching, Lord willing, I'm going to be watching to see what happens there. Because if you've just pointed out, Tim, these two people have nothing politically in their ideology that even comes close. Trump has said, we may cut off federal funding if you do what you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, and with regards to the SNAP program, Mr. Trump, President Trump wants to cut back. Remember, they're going to get everybody to reapply for SNAP.
Which is a great idea.
It's a great idea, but do you think Mamdani's going to go along with that?
But he doesn't control the federal SNAP program.
He doesn't.
It's a federal government program.
Yep.
Mamdani, I'm talking about. Now, he's going to try to do things like freeze rent, government grocery stores, which I don't know where he gets the groceries, and I don't know who administers that. Free Subway, free public transit for everybody, and that ought to work out really well in New York,
Yeah.
Even the Democrat governor of New York, even though she endorsed him publicly, has come back now and said, wait a minute.
We don't have the money for that.
The state doesn't have the money for what you want to do.
Right. She endorsed him, the governor of New York. I think she saw, he was going to win.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But she doesn't have any. She's bringing him back to reality. Sorry, what's his first name?
Zohran.
Hey, Zohran. Listen to me. I'm gonna speak plain English to you. We ain't got no money.
That's right.
That's right.
Now you're going to have to tax all those billionaires and millionaires in New York.
There's two worldviews so diametrically opposed to one another. Trump came from the ultra-capitalist, big businessman, New York deals, just that's how he views New York. And and that's what he thinks New York should be, right? Is, the central hub of finance for the world.
Right.
And Mamdani is coming at it from like this, the communistic wealth confiscation. I don't know how they're going to be able to come to an agreement on anything, to be honest.
Yeah. So we're going to be watching. Is that meeting tomorrow at the White House?
At the Oval Office.
Actually, they're charging pay-per-view tickets. You have to buy for it to watch it.
Well, I think Mamdani wants it offered free. I think that's the difference. Trump wants pay-per-view. Mamdani wants it free. All right, you're listening to Today's Issues on American Family Radio. Next topic, Chris.
Let me mention this real quick, because one of the issues that helped get President Trump back into office was the issue of males and female sports, private spaces, Title IX issues. Title IX being a 50-some-odd-year-old law that basically provides women equal opportunity on the sports field, as well as facilities like locker rooms, shower spaces, bathrooms, things of that nature. And we all know the story about people like Riley Gaines, former University of Kentucky swimmer, who has been an outspoken critic about males and female sports. One of the broadcasters out there that has long claimed and criticized people like Riley Gaines has been Joy Reid. But even in recent days, on her current broadcast, which is like a streaming service type podcast thing, Joy Reid herself has shared concerns now about males and female areas. I had to edit this down, but here's a clean version where you can hear from Joy herself. Clip 7.
This is nothing against trans anybody. What it's saying is, I turn around and I see I would probably go to management and say, wait a minute, why is there a naked man in this room?
Now that again was Joy Reid.
That's very, very transphobic.
Yes.
I'm really disappointed in her.
Yeah, well, now that she's not on MSNBC anymore, she doesn't have to worry about losing her job there. But she has made headlines because she is saying what a lot of people.
No, she's a far lefty.
Oh yeah.
You would expect her to say the opposite, and here she is.
Yeah.
Saying what common sense dictates, and that is women don't. I don't care how liberal they are. They don't want dudes wandering around their locker rooms and their showers.
Yeah.
Especially at a gym. What triggered this was a lesbian, a black lesbian woman in California went viral for her objections to a man who was in, was it Planet Fitness?
It was a Gold's Gym in California.
A Gold's Gym, okay, and a man came in there, and she just came out yelling and screaming, upset, this woman was. And as I say, it got a lot of attention.
Yes, and you're not the only person to mention that example there of that lady, the lesbian.
I'm not going to yell and scream like her, though.
Oh, no. I don't have the audio of her.
Okay.
But instead, I've got reaction from Jennifer Say. Jennifer Say is the head of XXXY Athletics, who was on the Will Cain Show yesterday afternoon to talk about what in the world happened to Joy Reid. How did she come around on this issue? Clip 8.
She's clearly talking about Tish Hyman, who's the black woman, I think you've had her on your show, who encountered a man in the locker room at what was a Gold's Gym and, screamed and yelled and then got kicked out of the gym. My generous interpretation is that opened Joy's eyes, someone she did not expect, because she's been screaming that this is like a right-wing issue for the last 10 years. And here she sees, a black woman, a lesbian, a Democrat, and she kind of it broke her brain a little bit. And she said, you know what, maybe I can say the thing I thought all along. Who knows what she thought all along, right? I mean, I think she goes where the wind blows. But I do give Tish big thanks for moving the Overton window a bit, I think, for a lot of people.
Moving the what?
The Overton window.
Is it like a movie or something?
The Overton window. You've seen the diagram, 2 circles, and the middle circle is where they overlap, but then it shifts.
Oh, yeah. But I didn't know what it was called. But sorry about
Trivia
that.
Friday on a
Thursday.
Hey,
so
I'm actually going to save that.
I looked over at Tony, our millennial, with a blank stare because you just go through life and sometimes things get said and you go, I never heard that before, and people go, what? You never noticed?
I also have a theory to posit as to why Joy Reid may be changing her tune on some of these issues. Is she is no longer with MSNBC, so she may not be going to the establishments, the exercise establishments where this type of behavior is not very common. Maybe she views things a little more differently now that she goes to the local Planet Fitness and any weirdo can walk in.
Yeah, and, say he's a woman.
Yeah,
and wander around the women's
kind of opens your eyes,
showers.
Being closer to the real world.
One day these places are going to get sued.
Yes,
that something's going to happen, and they're going to get sued.
Yeah,
and they're going to lose a lot of money. I'm talking about these fitness gyms that allow a man to say he's a woman and wander around in the showers and the dressing rooms and the changing areas. That's going to happen. All right, you're listening to today's issues on American Family Radio. Tim, Tony, and Fred and Chris. Is that the end of that story, Chris?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me check on something real quick. Do you have clip 16 available? Okay. All right. So as we have reported on AFN, the Texas governor has declared the Muslim civil rights group known as CAIR, C-A-I-R, a terrorist organization. CAIR says that's not fair. How dare you? But Governor Abbott was on Fox just before our show began defending his actions and went on to talk about CAIR and their leadership here. Clip 16.
So listen, Texas has its own separate laws that are independent of the United States laws with regard to designating foreign terrorist organizations. I have that authority as governor, and I used that authority previously to designate the Mexican drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations,
Right.
and now to designate the Muslim Brotherhood and now CARE as foreign terrorist organizations. Listen, both of their history is long documented to be either connected or through affiliates connected to terror. With regard to CARE, for example, one of the founders of CARE Texas in our state had ties to financing terrorism and was put in prison for 65 years. More recently, the executive director of CARE praised the October 7th by Hamas and that killed Americans. And so either their connection to or support of terrorism is something that we want to make sure that we block and eliminate in the state of Texas.
Yeah, well, good for him.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. He went on in this interview, Governor Abbott, to say by designating them a terrorist group, this would also curtail any plans to purchase land and do business in the state. Now, we've done multiple stories, Chris, and with regards to plans by an Islamic group there, just north of Dallas, to build a
Epic City is what they wanted to call it.
Yes. Yeah. So I think this all kind of ties together on this. CARE has responded to this. I think you are going to see a lawsuit, and we'll see where that goes.
CARE stands for what?
The Council of American Islamic Relations.
Correct.
They've been around a long time.
They have been, and they are the first to send out press releases when there is an Islamic attack, a terrorist attack. That's
Islamic.
That's
Islamophobic.
Not us. Yes,
everything's Islamophobic to them.
Yes.
So now, what did they? Didn't they? Did you just say this? They were giving cash out to people to go and
that was yesterday.
Disrupt
in the story yesterday.
But CARE, I'm saying, was giving cash out. They to disrupt,
to cause unrest,
to cause unrest on college campuses.
Yes,
in favor of the Hamas organization, right? Basically,
right. Yeah, they were given $1,000 checks for anti-Israel agitators.
Right. I mean, that's all you need to know.
Yes,
to me, to designate them a terrorist organization. You're listening to Today's Issues on American Family Radio. We'll take our break right here, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Jenna Ellis will be with us in a few moments as well. You are listening to the radio program Today's Issues on American Family Radio. A lot more topics to get to and talk about, what's happening in our country and in our world. And we ask you to continue to pray, if you haven't been already, for the Christians in Nigeria. That's the largest country in Africa, and I keep reading these horror stories every day about these Muslim terrorists, Boko Haram, just terrorizing and brutalizing the Christian citizens there in Nigeria. It's really, really bad. We'll be back momentarily. Stay with us.
It's my turn.
Here is your host for My Turn, Don Wildmon.
Most of us remember reading a short verse of Scripture in the book of Proverbs. Train up a child in the way he should go. I saw a tragedy last Sunday morning. I hope I see it again next Sunday morning. For I'd rather see the tragedy I saw than a greater one I fear will eventually occur. I'll call him Johnny. That's not his name, but for our purpose, that's what I'll call him. Johnny's in elementary school. He's in his formative years, and Johnny is the tragedy, or miracle as it may turn out to be. You see, Johnny came to Sunday school and worshiped by himself last week. He's been doing it for some time now. Sometimes Johnny will ride with a neighbor to the church. Sometimes when the weather is good, he'll walk. Sometimes a member of his family will bring Johnny to the church and drop him off. Now, what's the tragedy I saw? Just that. Someone in Johnny's family bringing Johnny, dropping him off to go by himself. Johnny's father and mother have something else to do, more important. And so Johnny managed to get to the place that would give him some direction in life all by himself. The story is repeated often in our society. However, I'm afraid it doesn't happen enough, for most Johnnies never manage to get to Sunday school and worship. They simply find more important things to do, like the rest of the family. How long little Johnny will continue to see to it that he gets himself to a place that can give him moral and spiritual instruction and guidance, I don't know. I hope he'll find strength in himself to continue the habit, but I'm afraid that one day Johnny will find it easier to sleep, or one Sunday the family will make some plans that will require Johnny to be away, and that will be followed by another Sunday with some more plans, and another and another. I guess what I'm really saying is that the pack is stacked against Johnny. The chances of his continuing his present habits are small. The odds against him are too heavy. Johnny will find further down the road that his visits to the house of God will have to cease. The family has other things to do, more important. Johnny is not a poor boy. His family is one of means. They have what most families long for, 2 cars, a fine home, modern conveniences, the whole works. Now, they're not millionaires, but they're well over the poverty line, materially speaking. And that's the tragedy. Johnny's family gives him everything he needs, except what he needs the most. And I guess if you ask them, Johnny's family would say they love him. Certainly there would be an emptiness in their home should Johnny suddenly die. But like I said, Johnny's chances are slim. There's just too much going against him. There's always that slight hope for a miracle, however, so I guess we can hope. But in a few years, if Johnny doesn't make it and he turns out wrong, don't be too hard on him, for as a youngster he really tried. Oh, incidentally, Johnny is not kin to you, is he?
This has been My Turn with Don Wildmon, a production of the American Family Association.
Jesus said, "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these." Matthew 19:14.
American Family Radio. This is today's issues. Email your comments to comments@afr.net. Past broadcasts of today's issues are available for listening and viewing in the archive at afr.net. Now, back to more of today's issues.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to today's issues here on the American Family Radio Network. I'm Tim with Fred, Tony, and Chris. And we thank you for listening to AFR. Jenna Ellis joins us now from the great state of Florida. Jenna, good morning to you.
Good morning. It is a great state of Florida.
The free state of Florida, that's what Governor DeSantis calls it, right?
Yes, and we love it.
You know, if you go to Florida and you cross the state line, I'm talking about driving, not flying, because I don't know how you'd see the sign. But it's a road sign that says, "Welcome to Florida, the free state of Florida."
The free state, yes.
Yeah, so that's their motto. Now, Jenna, okay, a lot to talk to you about. First of all, I want to ask you about this. You heard of a guy named Jeffrey Epstein?
Unfortunately, yes. We've been hearing too much about him.
I know. I don't want to talk about this much, but I do want to ask your opinion. You are a constitutional lawyer, and you follow Congress and everything like that. Is this over now? I mean, now that the Congress has voted to release all the quote Epstein files, and I don't even know what all that consists of. Is that like, what is that? You know, and then
I don't think anybody really knows at this point what that consists of. But the Babylon Bee had the best headline today. It said, "Trump sadly announces a dog ate the Epstein files, and then the dog was lost in a boating accident, and then the boat was nuked." And I think you actually sent that to me, and I think that's where everybody's at right now with all of this, because it's gone on for so long that no matter what is actually released, I don't think anybody on any side is going to believe that it's the whole thing, and then they're going to wonder, well, what was redacted? And then Speaker Johnson coming out and saying, well, there are national security interests and all that. I mean, what possible national security interest could there be for someone who's accused of the types of sex crimes that Epstein... I mean, I've never heard this ever related to this kind of of a sex crime. And so the only possible conclusion that I'm left to reach, and I don't have any insider information any more than anybody else on this conversation, the only thing that I can conclude is that the national security interests are protecting people in Washington, which is the very problem that conservatives have had to begin with this whole debacle.
People want to know, because otherwise there's any kind of interest in this would be purely prurient, as they say, although that's not beyond Americans. Americans like prurient interest sometimes, but
along with Schadenfreude.
Yeah,
we like that one too.
I don't think we can say that on American Family Radio.
Look, I'm Italian. Hey,
is that a window, Tony? What was that?
I'm Italian.
Okay,
German.
I think the main interest in the, quote, Epstein files, if I'm using quotes right, because we don't know exactly what that is now, is that a lot of people want to know, was there a shadow government? Has there been a big group of people, Republicans and Democrats, liberals and conservatives, who have been secretly running the government or being bribed or be involved in activities where they were compromised? And you go, well, this is why this happens and this happens and this happens when it seems like it's unexplainable. Or why are both sides working together so closely? Why is there a unigovernment or a whatever they call that? Uniparty. And people want to know, well, maybe it's money, and maybe it's people like Jeffrey Epstein who, had blackmailed all these people to do certain things, and people want to know if that's true or not. Tony, have I got that basically right?
That's a good summation.
Yeah.
See what Jenna says about it.
That's why I'm here. But all right, you're listening to Today's Issues. What's your podcast going to be on this week?
Yeah. So not the Epstein files, thankfully, right? Because we really don't need to be doing any of that. But we have on one of our favorites, actually, a raw egg nationalist. He's kind of an anon from the UK, but is talking about a very interesting issue that the birth rate in the UK is going way down, and as of the most recent government data that they have from 2022, 77% of women are having abortions in the UK that are white, and that's a little under 200,000 abortions a year. And so there's no way to paint this as anything other than a disaster. So we talk about the rise of abortions, selective abortions in the UK, along with the companion issue of the infiltration of Muslims into the UK and the basically the displacement of UK citizens that it's now becoming overrun by Muslims, and how that is mirroring what's happening in the United States in some cities. Like you see what's going on in Michigan, you see what's going on in New York City, and why the Trump agenda really needs to protect our borders. And of course, we get into pro-life, all of that. So a really long-form conversation that I found really fascinating.
I want to listen to that podcast. So when will it be out?
It will be out tomorrow. So On Demand drops every Friday, and to listen to that, you can go to Spotify, any of those others, or to afr.net. Click on that tab for podcasts, and then go down to On Demand.
Yeah. Okay. So, folks, if you go to our website afr.net and you click on the podcast banner, then find Jenna Ellis podcast. It's once a week. It's called On Demand. So you can get it very easily. Jenna said other places, Spotify, other places where podcasts are available, but certainly you can get it at our website. And
our app as well.
Yes, in our app, afr.net. So you definitely want to make sure you listen to Jenna's podcast each week here on the American Family Radio website. Fred, is this the same in Canada, the birth rates?
Going down? Very much the same, and I would say it's about the same here. And you did say it's white women in Britain, mm-hmm. Yes, mm-hmm. And so just imagine this kind of if you put it on a graph, the number of babies being born to white women down. Mm-hmm. The babies being born to the Islamic population, which is growing in Britain, is going up. So the cultural change that brings about. And we've done stories of what's been going on. I think it's Liverpool, some of these cities in Britain, basically where the British cops are told don't go in there.
Why does this matter, Tony?
Well, to me, it's not so much the concerning part is not so much the racial aspect, the replacement of race. It's the replacement of values. So, the UK native birth rate dropping dramatically, and that statistic was that 77%. Jenna, is that what you said? That's disturbing, not only for the pro-life aspect, but for the people of England. You are going to be replaced. Your values are going to be replaced because the people who are having children and that you have been importing, they don't adhere to the values that the UK was founded on, and still,
right.
to, a large part in Judeo-Christian values. They're coming from a part of the world where it is Sharia law. It is ruled by religious theocratic dominion. So to me, that it's more so the replacement of the values than just the population replacement that is concerning, and that's what's going to happen.
This is happening all across the West, where we see the influx of people from the Middle East, people from North Africa, just that's their problem. That's where people are flocking from to go to Europe. Now, you could look at it one or two ways, or maybe both are true at the same time. There are a lot of people going to escape poverty, and maybe they don't like Sharia law. Some of them are escaping to Europe because they want to live free, and they want to. I'm giving the best base on this, okay? And they want more opportunity to make make a living and make a better life for themselves. I do think that's why a majority of people come to the United States. I don't think they have sinister plans. I do think there are terrorists who come here and are Chinese spies. I do think that happens for the vast majority of people coming to Europe, probably but that doesn't change the fact of the numbers that Jenna gave, which really don't have anything to do. They're independent of one another, of the decision of these people to just pour into Europe. But the native Europeans are deciding we don't want to have babies. We don't have families anymore. And so, as you guys have said, that's going to reach a point where you're not going to have native.
Yeah, and I would just say I would disagree slightly on the people who are coming into the UK and even the people who are coming into America, that they're coming here for a virtuous purpose to actually understand American native culture and the Judeo-Christian worldview. They are failing to assimilate, and they are bringing their religion, their cultural values, and their mores here, and they're establishing their own culture within the United States. And we're seeing that happen, like in Lansing, Michigan, where you hear the Muslim call to prayer in an American city at all hours of the day. And you look at Dallas-Fort Worth Airport and you see that their prayer rooms are overrun by Muslims who are worshiping Allah. And you're seeing all of this across even now elections with Mamdani in New York City, who is an avowed, Muslim socialist. So these aren't people who are coming into America because they're abandoning where they grew up and they're saying, you know what, I value and respect the American way of life and I'm going to be a hard worker and I'm going to participate. One of the things that we learned during the government shutdown was how many non-citizens benefit from the welfare programs. And you saw all of those numbers, and you also saw in the Mamdani election how many non-U.S. born voters, and so people who can vote but they're not U.S. born, are the ones that are pushing candidates like that and who are suggesting that somehow this Muslim socialist has a better way of operating in the U.S. than our own native worldview. And so this is an infiltration, and I think it's purposeful. And so what we need to be doing, and what the Republican Party and conservatives are calling for increasingly, is not just a stop of illegal immigration and mass deportations, but even a stop of legal immigration until we get a handle on all of this. And this is one of the topics that we actually cover cover in the podcast that'll be released tomorrow as well.
Yes, that I agree with everything you said. That is a separate issue from why aren't Native Europeans, why aren't people in America having children to keep up with the birth, to keep up with the even with the replacement rate. And I don't know what Fred, do you have any thoughts on why this may be? You think it's the cost of raising families today? I think it is. It is we've done stories on this. One of the reasons couples say today is that we're going to delay having our first child, right? Because we want lots of money in the bank so we can buy a house, all of those sorts of things. That's one of the I'm not saying I agree with that, but that's one of the reasons being given.
Climate change has been cited by some young couples too. They buy into the myth that we are killing the planet by having more children.
Yeah, that to me, those are.
Are you serious, Clark?
I'm dead serious.
Yeah, this is something that
there's a lot of people 35 and younger that don't have kids because
Tony,
of the
do you believe in this global warming?
Well, obviously not. I have 5. I'm killing the planet.
Tony's shame on you. Tony's busting the average wide open.
Yeah,
gonna make emissions great again.
I think it's a reflection also of the moral decay amongst that the younger generation would view children as being a burden. That's their priority. It's a I'll just say it's selfish mindset to say, okay, I want to do what I want to do for longer, and or if it's for financial reasons, even that is going to get pushed out further because you still can't afford housing. You still can't, even if you're single or married with no children, that is slipping away. So
I just know the baby boomer generation, which I'm on the tail end of. I know that, and a lot of people listening to me right now who are in their 60s and 70s and maybe 80s, they came from an era, and I came from an era where it was nothing to have 4 children. Okay. 4 was probably the average, because a lot of families were 5, 6 children, 7 children even. Yeah. You had 3 children, you were a small family. I'm talking about back in the 50s and 60s and 70s, and even certainly in the now birth control. That entered the picture in the 70s or 80s, and that changed everything 60s, too.
1965 was the Supreme Court case, and that was coupled with the sexual revolution. The sexual revolution, and the church. I also largely blame for this as well, that is not telling young people that marriage is God's design for you. And you see so many so-called Christians that are buying into this secular nonsense that they don't want to get married. They want to, even for some purportedly lofty or spiritual reasons, like, well, I need to work on myself and I need to, know that I'm complete in Jesus before I get married. And it's like, none of that is actually biblical. Any of the marriages or any of the commentary in Genesis or all the way through, what Jesus talked about in marriage, it doesn't say, make yourself a whole person and get therapy before you leave your father and mother and be united to your wife. I mean, none of that is scriptural, but psychology has really infiltrated the churches, and so many Christians are buying into this myth that somehow they need to, work on themselves and all of this before they can go out and decide that they want a quote-unquote life partner. I mean, we're not even teaching what marriage and family genuinely is in the church. And I've had conversations, as a single woman who's looking for a husband, and you guys all know this, it's so frustrating to me to see that so many men of my age group and of, younger women that I know, they don't have any prospects because men don't want to be men. They don't want to be providers anymore. They don't even know if they want to get married. And then even worse, they don't know if they want to have kids because it's either a cramp on their lifestyle or, as we've talked about, the affordability issue, but they're not looking, the church is not incentivizing young men to pursue God's design regardless of all of this other secular nonsense.
Yeah, no, bingo, you just bingoed. All right, Jenna, thanks for joining us today. And what's coming up on Jenna Ellis in the morning tomorrow morning?
Yeah, so we're actually going to be talking with my mom, who is a biblical counselor, about dealing with maybe some family conflict during the holidays as Thanksgiving is rapidly approaching. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then Monday, I'm really excited because, Scott Jennings, who is on CNN, and he does all the takedowns. He is going to join me. Oh, really excited.
Awesome.
About his new book that is titled A Revolution of Common Sense, which is what I love seeing him bring to CNN and the liberal minds explode. Yeah. So really looking forward to that one on Monday.
All right. All right, Jenna, have a good day. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much. And for everyone listening, if you know somebody that is potentially an applicant, Tim is accepting applications for my future husband. Please send them.
I would not do that. I would not do that.
Oh, we do that all the time. And you know
Jonathan's over there sweating bullets.
And comments at AFR. And you know what? I say this all the time, and we've never gotten like a single one. This is what's crazy.
Look, I'm in IT, and I'm going to have to increase the spam filter. Filter
do
out.
That. Yeah. We got to filter it out. But
husband.
Send them to Ed's email.
Yeah. Hey, don't nix them until we go through them. Seriously.
All right.
Help me out here.
Well, we will pray for Jenna's future husband. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jenna. Take care.
I see a new show starting on AFR.
Yeah.
It's a dating game.
Hearts on Fire.
Every once in a while in my world, somebody says, we ought to hook these two people up together, and I'm going, you can do it if you want to, but I ain't. I'm not hooking anybody else. Hooking up's a bad way to say it.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
putting together.
Right. This person, this person. They're both single, and they would be wonderful together. Allison might say sometimes, and I'm going, yeah, well, you go for it. Because as soon as I hook them up, there I go again, then something happens, and they go, I can't believe you put me with, what a loser, you made me get engaged. Now I've got wasted 2 years of my life. Thank you, Kim.
Yeah.
I'm going like, no, I'm not doing it, I'm just going to leave that to the Lord.
There you go.
Okay, because I'm not matchmaking squat. Okay. All right, you're listening to today's. Have you ever matchmade, Tony?
I have not. Okay. I stay away from it for the same reasons. I don't want to be.
Fred, you a matchmaker?
Absolutely not.
Okay, Chris, you're a matchmaker, aren't you?
No. To be honest with you, I wake up every day wondering what my wife saw in me 25 years ago, but God bless her for it.
All right. So, how much time we got left here? I want to mention this, and I don't know if this is funny or not, but this happened on Air Force One. Do we have the audio, Piggy?
Yes.
We do?
It's got some background noise, but I do have it.
So,
oh, boy.
Okay, now, this is not worth very much time, but this is classic Trump. President Trump, he can be a gentleman, and then sometimes he can be just a...
He can be Trump.
He can be a very rude, brash New Yorker. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So there is this reporter for Bloomberg, which is a news service, and she's on the Air Force One, and President Trump's talking to some of the reporters, and she asked him a question having to do with the Jeffrey Epstein files, and is this? We're about to hear what he says.
Yeah,
can you even understand it?
There is some background noise. The plane's obviously flying through the air.
He. Okay, go ahead.
Clip 4.
Discriminating in the files, Venezuela, sir. On Venezuela, sir, you've had a lot of meetings on Venezuela. I know you can't tell us what your next steps will be.
So, if you didn't hear what he said, this was the lady's name is Catherine Lucy with Bloomberg. And he says, quiet, Piggy. Now, am I wrong? Should I not be laughing about that? Because I laugh about it, and then I go, I don't think I should be laughing about it.
If you don't laugh, you cry. That's
Fred, as a reporter, Fred, have you ever been told, quiet, Piggy?
Never. No, this is Trump. And with Trump, there's a lack of a gateway between what you're thinking and what you say publicly.
He has no filter? Is that what you're saying?
No, and I'm sure there's people around him that kind of just grimace when they hear that.
Not at the White House. They say, "Dear leader is right." Whatever he says and does.
Well, they're not going to disagree publicly because they won't have a job.
You think they're cringing though when he calls a woman piggy?
You've got to believe that. You just know that this is going to explode. And we're going to be asked about this and all these sorts of things.
Well, the thing about it is she's not even overweight.
No.
So it's not even an accurate description.
I don't know.
I wouldn't call a woman that way anyway. But I'm just saying, what makes it kind of worse is he does this with women. Mm-hmm. And used to, that would be a cancel, disqualify. You call Nikki Haley a bird brain for 6 months. That's usually disqualifying, but Trump just rolls on. I think what happens to us, it's kind of like with Charles Barkley. Mm-hmm. People develop a reputation for insulting everybody, and so you hear it so often, you just finally go, well, that's just Trump being Trump.
Yeah.
Whereas if Vance did that, you would go, I'm shocked. And I'm surprised he did that.
I think we can all agree it is unbecoming of the president to insult a reporter, female reporter, and especially to call her a name. But I will say this: I've noticed that I think even the media is just so used to it. This would be like with any other president, with any other candidate. This would be a national story. For a week.
Especially
and now
since it involves
a
woman.
Yes, exactly. But because everybody just has come to expect this with Trump, it'll be out of the cycle by the end of this show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just everybody just kind of accepts it.
Quiet, piggy.
What I think what people dislike about Trump is also what they like about Trump.
Mm-hmm.
He is not a politician.
Right.
All right.
Right.
George W. Bush.
I
even
agree.
Barack Obama. They would not say this.
Right.
He is a New York tycoon businessman.
Mm-hmm.
This is the way he has operated for decades. Has this tycoon?
I agree with everything you're saying. There's a reason, but what's going to happen is in 2 years, if a Democrat's running for president, or I hope they wouldn't win, then and if that Democrat, whoever it may be, Gavin Newsom, says to Laura Ingraham, "Hush, hush, piggy." Then you know what we're going to do? We're going to say that's awful.
Yeah.
We can't accept that behavior.
That's why we can. That's why it's important for us to now.
Yeah, at least say that's we don't agree with that kind of behavior.
And I'll say this too.
Yeah.
Trump. My filter may loosen up if I had to deal with the media and its constant attacks and everything he's had to go through. I mean, they're not kind to him. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
That may factor into it too. He's dealt with them.
But at
for
some point,
so
I'm going.
long.
You're the president. Just deflect. Just say I'm not going to answer that question.
Right.
I don't appreciate that question. Or next.
Yep.
You don't have to hurl personal insults. He threatened ABC to take away their license, their FCC license, because he didn't like a question that they answered. All right, you're listening to Today's Issues on American Family Radio. Chris, you got one more?
I do. For people that are listening to us in the cities of San Antonio, Waco, Texas, or Pontiac, Michigan, you might start seeing some Amazon drones in your skies. I say that because Amazon has announced it's going to be adding drone delivery to San Antonio and Waco in Texas and Pontiac, Michigan, bringing the total number of prime air locations to 4 across 3 states. This is looking to have a big impact, pretty much according to a Newsweek article that I just shared on our Facebook page. Some people may actually get their deliveries 60 minutes after they order a product now, thanks to these drones.
So are we talking about the skies?
It look like the Jetsons.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Are we talking about drones shooting across the top of houses?
Yes. With boxes.
Ready to,
With boxes.
With boxes?
Mm-hmm. To land on your front yard and drop your package off.
Dove season in Mississippi is going to be real interesting. Yeah.
I don't see how this is going to.
Maybe I brought back 12 doves and a couple of packages from Amazon.
I don't know whose they are.
I don't know.
All right, we'll be back in a minute. Stay with us.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
Faith, family, freedom. American Family Radio.
Teenage years can be a time of trial. It can be really difficult, but it can also be the most fun and the best years of your parenting.
Dr. Jessica Peck is a pediatric nurse practitioner as well as a professor, author, and mother of 4. Dr. Peck is host of the Dr. Nurse Mama Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. Central, and find her podcast at afr.net.
This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh. President Trump is demanding the arrest and possible execution of Democrats in Congress over a video message urging military and intelligence personnel to refuse what they call, quote, illegal orders. Chris Foster has more.
The president on Truth Social calls it seditious behavior punishable by death. A 1-minute video posted Tuesday featuring 6 Democrats with military or intelligence backgrounds addressing Americans currently serving.
You all swore an oath
to protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
The message does not give any examples of those illegal orders. President Trump writes, each one of those traitors to our country should be arrested and put on trial. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. We won't have a country anymore. An example must be set.
The Democrat responsible for that video, Jason Crow of Colorado, had this exchange with Fox's Martha McCallum and couldn't answer the question about exactly which so-called illegal orders they were talking about disobeying.
What
reminding them of their obligation
order from the commander-in-chief that we are asking our military to carry out are you objecting to? This is very, very vague. And it was so vague in this video. I don't think people could figure out what you guys were all talking about, honestly.
Martha, Donald Trump has made a series of very disturbing comments and suggestions that would violate U.S. law and put our military in terrible positions.
Again, we're getting nowhere because you're not talking about an order.
I don't want to wait until that happens to remind our troops of their obligation because then it'll be too late. We are standing by our troops and our amazing men and women in uniform to remind them
who sign up every day as you did to carry out the orders of the commander-in-chief.
A 3-judge district court panel invalidated Texas's redistricting map earlier this week and ordered that the map drawn by the legislature in 2021 remain in effect for the midterm elections. This ruling could cost Republicans 5 seats in the U.S. House of Representatives. The majority in the ruling claimed that there was, quote, substantial evidence that Texas racially gerrymandered the 2025 map. Here's Texas Governor Greg Abbott.
Well, first of all, with regard to that statement, there was actually zero evidence of any racial judgment playing any role in the decision-making process. But know this also, that Judge Brown, who wrote that opinion, he was just reversed last year in a different redistricting decision. He was wrong last year. He's wrong this year. The senior judge you were pointing out, Jerry Smith, he was the only person on that panel from the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. He was exactly right. He's never seen, and I have never seen, a judgment, an opinion so erroneous in its writing. And it looked like Judge Brown geared his writing to try to achieve a result. And that's something that the United States Supreme Court, I think, is just not going to tolerate.
And finally, the Trump administration has announced a $1 billion loan to restart the 3 Mile Island nuclear plant.
3 Mile Island is in Pennsylvania, and the loan would help Constellation Energy restart the nuclear reactor and power things such as Microsoft's data center. Larry Behrens of Power the Future thinks it's a good idea.
We have an energy deficit right now in the United States. The demand is growing for more and more energy, and we don't have the power plants that we've had in the past. The United States has seen 400 fossil fuel-fired power plants shut down in just the last 15 years. And so as our appetite for more energy grows, we've taken a lot of energy production offline. And so wherever we can find affordable, reliable energy, that is absolutely the answer to move forward. And all of this demand is even before I even mention those 2 letters AI, which is just going to skyrocket that demand even higher.
Nuclear energy has its fans, including those who view man-made climate change as real and a threat. But environmental organizations have been reluctant to get behind nuclear power. Sierra Club, for example, says it remains unequivocally opposed to nuclear energy because of what Sierra Club calls nuclear power's big carbon footprint. Behrens is not concerned.
America does it better and safer than any other country on the face of the planet. I would encourage folks to look at all forms of energy and look at the safety record of it and see where we get the most bang for our buck.
I'm Chris Woodward.
More news online at afn.net and on the AFN mobile app. I'm Rusty Pugh.
The radical left will stop at nothing to find a way to end life in the womb. They're now using the mail to ship abortion pills straight into homes across America, even in states where abortion is illegal. It's not health care, and it must be stopped. You can take action today. When you support AFA Action, you'll help us hold Big Pharma accountable and defend life. As our thanks, we'll send you the Christian Handbook for Civic Engagement. Visit afaaction.net to give your urgent gift today.
Today's Issues continues on AFR with your host, Tim Wildmon, president of the American Family Association.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. I'm Tim Wildmon with Fred Jackson and Tony Vitagliano, and now Steve Paisley-Jordahl joins us. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, everybody.
How you doing, brother Steve?
I'm okay. It's a good day here so far in Mississippi.
Good day. Good day. That sounded like a country song right there.
We could make it up, couldn't we? We could get an AI to write it for us.
We'll do that right now. You say Mississippi country song.
All right, hold on.
We're going to see what comes. Hopefully, it'll be safe and family friendly.
Let me see. It's nope. That's
Is that what comes up?
No, I'll do this in a second. I have the app actually.
It doesn't need to be a honky tonk drinking song.
Well, I got it. Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to say that the. Let me see. We got to write it here. We got to put.
I was half joking.
I know, but I could do it. I could do it.
If you could
We're getting deep into it.
I'm sorry. I just.
What was the name? What was the name of the song?
Mississippi. What do you say?
It's a good day in Mississippi.
It's a good day in Mississippi.
Written by American Family Association.
Yeah. Called It's a Good Day in Mississippi.
Let's see what happens here.
All right. And
oh boy.
Done.
All right. I'm not responsible for
I know, right?
Okay.
Hold on.
Well, I didn't.
Jonathan's on the button.
We can get back to this later.
Yeah, we will. I will.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do this later. We have more time for planning. I just thought a little impromptu AI song might be, a good way to start this half hour. That's all right, Steve. You put the phone
we'll do
down.
it at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your first story, Steve?
All right. Jeffrey Epstein just doesn't want to leave the news.
You know what?
Got a little help in this kind of.
I like you, Steve. I didn't want to hear his name this half hour.
Sorry,
but go ahead.
He who will not be named.
Okay.
Does not want to leave the
sound like
news.
there's an echo here.
Yeah, I'm not.
Steve echoing.
I'm plugged in, but.
Okay. That sounds a little better now.
All right.
There you go.
There
okay.
we go.
All right. Now, what about Jeffrey Epstein?
All
Because
right.
we got about 30 seconds.
So what happened was, if you will recall, they found out that Virgin Island delegate Stacey Plaskett was getting texts from Jeffrey Epstein in the middle of a hearing that was going after Donald Trump. And she was saying, what can you tell me about Donald Trump? Republicans released this, and that got Democrats, including one Texas Congresswoman, Jasmine Crockett, a little upset. How dare you? And so she's
the Texas version of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, right? AOC.
That's correct.
They are. She's the brisket version.
That's right.
Am I right?
Yes, I think so. Do I need to do something here that's
no.
different? Okay. So what happened was that Jasmine Crockett went to the floor of the House.
Yeah.
And said, well, you think that's bad? I have a list of other people who have been given money from Jeffrey Epstein. And she lists off a bunch of people, including Lee Zeldin, the current EPA secretary, I believe he is. And he's in Trump's cabinet. Says, well, he's gotten some. Well, Lee Zeldin pops back and says, yes, I was given money from Jeffrey Epstein. Dr. Jeffrey Epstein of so-and-so, which is a completely different person than the Jeffrey Epstein that everybody else is talking to. Not the same one, genius, was what he put on his text. So she went on, Jasmine Crockett went on CNN, and she was asked if she wanted to take this back because Lee Zeldin said it wasn't the same Jasmine Crockett. Well, that I now have a minute of Jasmine Crockett digging and digging and digging and refusing to stop. Cut 15.
You mentioned Lee Zeldin there. He's now a cabinet secretary. He responded and said it was actually Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, who's a doctor that doesn't have any relation to the convicted sex trafficker. Unfortunate for that doctor, but that is who donated to a prior campaign of his. Do you want to correct the record on the people that you...
Listen, I never said that it was that Jeffrey Epstein, just so that people understand when you make a donation, your picture is not there. And because they decided to spring this on us in real time, I wanted the Republicans to think about what could potentially happen because I knew that they didn't even try to go through the FEC. So my team, what they did is they Googled, and that is specifically why I said a Jeffrey Epstein. Unlike Republicans, I at least don't go out and just tell lies. He admitted that he did receive donations from a Jeffrey Epstein, so at least I wasn't trying to mislead people. Now, have I dug in to find out who this doctor is? I have not.
Yeah, but people might see that and say, well, you're trying to make it sound like he took money from
I did not know.
A registered sex offender.
No, but I literally did not know. So, number one, I made sure that I was clear that it was a Jeffrey Epstein, but I never said that it was specifically that Jeffrey Epstein.
She's in the Congress?
Yes. That hurts your head, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. I'm speechless at that explanation. First she said, and then she reminded me a little bit of Karine Jean-Pierre.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if they're college roommates or what, but because she said, talking about listing the Dr. Epstein, which is not Jeffrey Epstein, although he has the same name. She's the one who publicly said that. And then she said, I did not know. She checked with Google.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then she said, I did not know. I did not know. And then she follows up with that, I wanted to be clear. No, this is a beautiful combo of, we got to play that one more time. Again, this is Jasmine Crockett this is her number one hit across the land right now. She's bumped ahead of AOC in terms of quotable, whacked out liberals.
Yeah.
And so let's hear this explanation again.
You mentioned Lee Zeldin there. He's now a cabinet secretary. He responded and said it was actually Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, who's a doctor that doesn't have any relation to the convicted sex trafficker. Unfortunate for that doctor, but that is who donated to a prior campaign of his. Do you want to correct the record on the people that...
Listen, I never said that it was that Jeffrey Epstein, just so that people understand when you make a donation, your picture is not there. And because they decided to spring this on us in real time, I wanted the Republicans to think about what could potentially happen because I knew that they didn't even try to go through the FEC. So my team, what they did is they Googled, and that is specifically why I said a Jeffrey Epstein. Unlike Republicans, I at least don't go out and just tell lies. He admitted that he did receive donations from a Jeffrey Epstein, so at least I wasn't trying to mislead people. Now, have I dug in to find out who this doctor is? I have not.
Yeah, but people might see that and say, well, you're trying to make it sound like he took money from
I did not know.
A registered sex offender.
No, but I literally did not know. So, number one, I made sure that I was clear that it was a Jeffrey Epstein, but I never said that it was specifically that Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, that's a different one.
Look, I have a confession to make.
Yeah, go ahead,
I've been
Tony.
telling y'all that I went to school with Michael Jordan. What I meant was it was a Michael Jordan. Now, if you interpreted it as the Michael Jordan, that's
That's
your
on you.
problem. You need to
That's
do
on
some
you.
Googling
But you didn't
to
ever
figure
say
it out.
which Michael
Yes,
Jordan it
exactly.
was. You just said a Michael Jordan.
It's not surprising that in politics nowadays, no politician is ever going to admit to any mistakes, even if you're clearly caught in a lie. You just say, I didn't know.
Right, I did not know.
I didn't say. I
Hey,
didn't mean it was that Jeffrey Epstein.
We use Google. What are we supposed to do?
Yeah, that's also our future is also in great hands with our elected officials are in the back room Googling as it's going on.
And you got one of the Democrat congresswomen texting with Jeffrey Epstein himself while a hearing's going on so the congresswoman could get questions to fire at whoever was testifying up there about President Trump.
This may be one of the few times I praise CNN, but I'm thankful CNN challenged her.
Yeah.
I believe if that CNN anchor had not challenged her, she would have been happy for people to believe
That's a great point.
we have caught
That's a
these
great
Republicans.
Yeah.
Because she didn't offer that. She didn't start making these excuses until that CNN anchor challenged her on that.
Now, it is true that these very wealthy individuals all over the country do give to Democrats and Republicans.
Yes.
Typically.
Yeah.
Donald Trump did that when he was a New York businessman. He gave money to the Republicans. He gave money to the Democrats because all these people want access no matter who wins.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah.
All right, you're listening to today's issues. There went a drone right over the top of our house. Amazon. There's an Amazon drone delivering. I don't know what they're delivering anyway.
Well, it's not the only. This is not the only digging that happened on network news yesterday too. I want to take you back to yesterday when we played a compilation of Democrat military people saying that it's okay to disobey an illegal order from Donald Trump. And a lot of the people out there, including Martha McCallum at Fox, were saying, what are you talking about? What order has he given that's been illegal? And one of the Congressman Crow was asked. From Colorado was asked this. And, well, this was his answer, cut 11.
When you see this video on social media, I think a lot of people scratch their heads and they say, what exactly are they talking about? Are they talking about
Martha.
not allowing gunboats to make it to the United States carrying drugs?
No.
Is that
Martha,
what you're talking about?
Martha, here's a novel idea. How about we actually prevent things from happening before they become a problem?
I think that's what they're trying to do.
What you're saying is we have to wait until there's a problem to respond to that problem.
No, I'm not.
Again, that's absolute. Listen, Republicans can say stupid stuff too. Okay, we're all human. We all can say ridiculous things. Okay, do we have the clip that the ad
if you can go back to
we played it yesterday.
If you can go back to yesterday's clips, I don't remember what number it was, but
yeah, it was a clip of a group of Democrat lawmakers in Washington D.C. a television ad, maybe a radio ad, where they're telling active servicemen and women that they should disobey direct orders from their superiors if they need to.
It was listed as a montage.
You know what? I'll say this while Jonathan tries to dig up the clip. I actually agree with Congressman Crow here. I agree that we should try to prevent things before something bad happens. We should try to prevent 10 million illegal immigrants from coming in over the course of 4 years and taking over large swaths of cities, taking over apartment buildings. We've all kind of forgotten about that. The Tren de Agua, extorting and taking over buildings. So I agree with them.
Amen.
So we should try to prevent.
Martha McCallum should have said that. Maybe she did after that.
Try to prevent problems before they happen.
That's right. They're pandering to their left wing base here.
Right.
They're trying to say, because she asked a very specific question, what are you talking about exactly? You don't do what he's saying. Make a preventative video saying, in case you're told, you servicemen and women are told to do something against the Constitution, you can defy your superior and not do it. I guess you decide what you're going to obey and what you're not going to obey based on what your view of the Constitution is. You got it? So it's
just Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah, right.
That's what's driving all of this.
Doesn't even make sense.
I'm surprised that Senator Mark Kelly was among the 6
Arizona.
Democrats.
He's considered more moderate.
Yes, that he was willing to go along with this.
Okay, what you're about to hear, we played it yesterday. This is a television ad, I guess it is, right? Or an internet ad?
Yeah.
That a group of Democrats, and so all the voices you're about to hear are Democrat congressmen or senators, and they've sent out this video to America's people in the active military. Go ahead.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
And the intelligence community
who take risks each day
to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk. This administration is pitting our uniformed military
And intelligence community professionals
against American citizens.
like us. You all swore an oath
to protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law or our Constitution.
We know this is hard and that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
The Army,
Our Navy,
the Air Force,
your vigilance is critical.
and know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
The American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws,
our Constitution,
And who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
don't give up.
don't give up.
don't give up the ship.
Okay. What are they? Okay, just you don't even have to tell me specific. What are they talking about?
Well, there was no specific, which is the point of Martha McCallum. But they say that Donald Trump has made so many crazy statements. He's putting military people in like Chicago and Portland, and he's going to ask them to do something illegal. So we want to tell them that they don't have to do it. That's what they're
okay.
saying.
So it's in response to troops in the cities.
National Guard.
That's yes.
Oh, okay. But the National Guard is only being used if the mayor or the governor of the said states invite them in.
And in a support role. They're
In a
not.
support role.
Yes.
And any federal agencies are.
But if you can paint Donald Trump as someone who's going to give an illegal order and you can kind of hang that around his neck, they're going to do that every single time.
Well, I think that's what they like fantasize about, Trump becoming a dictator and instituting martial law. I honestly think they welcome it, and they're trying to paint this picture. It's not
this
there.
This is just highly irresponsible.
Right.
Highly irresponsible, because there may be some men and women in uniform who are listening to this and saying, okay, I have a right to disobey an order from a captain, a major, a colonel. I have a right because I think it's wrong.
Right, right. That's what they were saying.
This is dangerous.
Yeah.
It is highly irresponsible.
If we were a Democrat president, they wouldn't say that.
No. That none of these people were backing up troops when they were refusing to get the vaccine. Have we all forgotten that?
Yes.
How the military was enforcing soldiers to get vaccines. They weren't backing them up when they were making a decision to disobey orders or to disobey,
now
against their conscience.
All right, you're listening to Today's Issues. That's the name of this show on the American Family Radio Network. Today's Issues. Tim, Fred, Tony, and Steve. Steve, what's your next story?
Well, someone needs to go check the grave of Billy Graham to see if he's spinning or not, because Christianity Today, the magazine that he started, has appointed a brand new president. Her name is Dr. Nicole Martin.
Okay.
And she has been working at CT for a number of years, various things. But this is who she is. Russell Moore, by the way, who was the head of the Ethics and Religious Liberty Commission of the SBC, and left on not such good terms with the SBC, has endorsed this choice. And this is what she wrote in an article in Christianity Today: God is faithful in triumph and despair. So she's talking about despair. What despair did she go through? This is what she writes. At age 9 and 11, my girls watched my husband and me vote for the one we believed would be the best qualified president of the United States, Vice President Kamala Harris. And now they witnessed the grief that comes from knowing that the candidate we championed has lost the race. They watched as our faces fell when we heard the results. They experienced our sorrow, not only for the loss, but also for the fear of what might happen in the coming days and years. This is the new president and CEO of Christianity Today.
I think Christianity Today, hadn't they been drifting leftward for a long time, though, Fred?
Oh, yeah. Even before Russell Moore became the editor there. Just stop and think about this for a moment. Kamala Harris, when she was vice president, became the first vice president in the history of this country to go to an abortion clinic. I believe it was in Wisconsin. And to celebrate what they were doing at that abortion clinic.
Right.
And now this person heads a publication called Christianity Today.
And they were crying because Kamala lost.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I can't. Who's their subscription base anymore? I mean, it used to be evangelical Christians, but is it?
I think Russell Moore has a subscription. I don't know
I don't
who
know,
else
I
is
don't know who
listening
they're
in.
going to sell.
I would recommend our alternative.
We have an alternative.
Yes.
What is that?
The Stand.
The Stand.
We have our own editorial magazine and site that you can go to and view our
What is that,
articles.
Tony? What is that website?
What is that website?
The Stand.
The Stand. Let me pull it
can
up
go
right
and
now.
you can- well, and it's this AFA.
AFA.net/The Stand.
Is that it? Go ahead and tell it.
Yes, so that is AFA.net.
We never go there. That's why we don't know it. Huh? Well, why do we? We got the magazine on our desk.
It's AFA.net, and you'll see The Stand up at the top.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Stand. Go, That's what you need to be reading, people. Right?
Yeah.
All right, next story.
All right, let me do this quick because I do have a song I'd like to share with you. I wrote a song in my spare time. It's A Good Day in Mississippi, and it's ready for you to
Okay, I'm
hear.
ready.
But
Let's
you want to do that now?
Steve. Yeah.
All right, this is the song I just wrote.
Okay, Steve.
It's A Good Day in Mississippi.
Okay. Got a little country feel to it. All right.
And I checked the lyrics. It's clean.
It's clean? When is it? Okay, here we go. You just wrote this?
Mm-hmm. And sang it. This is me singing it.
Is it? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You can do a southern twang. Really good.
Yeah. Drones flying through the sky.
All right, we were for those who didn't hear the first part of this segment here. Why did we just do that?
Well, I said it's A Good Day in Mississippi when you introduced me, and you said
Yeah,
that'd be a good country
that.
song.
I did provoke that. Yeah,
So
I said,
I wrote
Steve.
one.
Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill him.
Tony, you're on to something right there. So we said have AI generate a song called "A Good Day in Mississippi."
It's A Good Day in Mississippi,
right?
yep.
Which you said when I asked you how you doing, you said I'm having a good day in Mississippi today.
You know, the serious side of this.
Yeah.
The country and music industry in Nashville.
Yeah.
Is very worried about this kind of thing.
They are.
Oh, AI generating music on its own.
Yes.
Yeah.
Doing music on its own. We did a story, was
Yep.
that last week sometime?
Just a couple days ago.
What was it? It's #1 on the Billboard digital charts.
Digital sales charts. So
An
this
AI
is
song?
an AI song is #1, or at least was at the time we put the story out, and the digital music sales charts. And to quote Rick Beato, who was also I quoted in my story, I said, "Who pays for music anymore?" Exactly. That's the point. Someone paid about $3,000 to download this a bunch of times to get it to the top of that chart. However, it's coming. And country music artists, not only country music, every musical composition artist, genre is going to be fighting, is this real or not? This guy sounds pretty real.
Yeah, also the entertainment industry, the television and movie business, they are also very worried about this because AI is threatening to take over their jobs.
Oh, absolutely.
Of creating content. And
who wouldn't want to see another movie starring, I don't know, John Wayne?
Oh, yeah. Wow, that's a good point. They can do that?
Yeah.
I know in one of the Indiana Jones movies, the last one they made, Harrison Ford looked like he was 40 again. Do you remember 35 again? Remember that?
It'll be a lot cheaper to do it with AI than it is to take an actual video of him and de-age him or anybody.
Yeah, we got about a minute left or so. What do you got?
All right.
Anything?
Elon Musk says that his Optimus, his robot, is going to make everybody rich. And this is not only it, but do you know that Optimus, which is his robot, is going to stop crime? He says instead of physically jailing prisoners, Optimus could follow you around and stop you from doing crime. Let's not put anybody in prison. If they're convicted, we just hand them an Optimist. And
so like having a pet dog, you got a pet robot following you around everywhere?
I'm going to buy one for each of my kids. I'm going to buy one for each of my kids. You need to clean up your room.
Right.
Your father said clean up your room.
You're going to be out. You're going to be out somewhere around $30,000 per kid.
Well, okay, never mind that.
Oh man. Elon Musk, he's back in good graces with President Trump. You see that?
Yes, he is.
He got the pat on the belly.
That would be a good country song too, right there.
I'll write that later.
All right, how about I generate a pat on the belly in Mississippi? All right.
I'll have it for you Monday.
Okay. Probably a good thing this show's coming to an end right here. I think the information we're providing now is not high quality. All right, thank you, Steve.
My pleasure.
Tony.
Thank you.
Fred.
You bet.
All right, who else was here? Chris Woodward, Jenna Ellis. All right, and we will see you next time on the Today's Issues program.